Okay, we're going to teach on Ezekiel chapter 47. I love the book of Ezekiel. It's called The Healing Waters and Trees. This is very replicative of Revelation, speaks to this. Okay, first verse, chapter 47. Then he brought me back to the door of the temple, and there was water flowing from under the threshold of the temple toward the east. For the front of the temple faced east. The water was flowing from under the right side of the temple, south of the altar. He brought me out by way of the north gate and led me around on the outside to the outer gateway that faces east. And there was water running out on the right side. And when the man went out to the east with the line in his hand, he measured 1,000 cubits and brought me through the waters. The water came up to my ankles. Again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the waters, where the water came up to my knees. And again he measured 1,000 and brought me through the water until it came up to my waist. Again he measured 1,000, and it was a river that I could not cross, for the water was too deep, water in which one must swim, a river that could not be crossed. Verse 6. He said to me, Son of man, have you seen this? Then he brought me and returned me to the bank of the river. When I returned, there along the bank of the river were very many trees on one side and on the other. Then he said to me, this water flows toward the eastern region, goes down into the valley, and enters the sea. When it reaches the sea, its waters are healed. And it shall be that every living thing that moves wherever the rivers go will live. There will be a very great multitude of fish, because these waters go there, for they will be healed. And everything will live wherever the river goes. So awesome. It shall be that the fishermen will stand by it from En-gedi to Englim. There will be places for spreading their nets. Their fish will be of the same kinds as the fish of the great sea, exceedingly many. But its swamps and marshes will not be healed. They will be given over to salt. Along the bank of the river, on this side and that will grow all kinds of trees used for food. Their leaves will not wither, their fruit will not fail, and they will bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the sanctuary. Their fruit will be for food, and their leaves for medicine. This is just so prolific. So it's talking about, first of all, when he talks about the river, it's to his ankles, to his knees, and then it's over his head. He's talking about the spiritual growth, the spiritual expansion of what God does in our life. And then we get to the trees, which heal. The leaves are for medicine. What he's saying is God is a healer. Heaven, it's about the heavens, going to heaven, because it speaks about this in Revelation as well. But it also speaks about being healed here. It speaks about spiritual growth. It speaks about healing. It speaks about truth. And it's just so awesome. God is so awesome. Verse 13, borders of the land. Thus says the Lord God, these are the borders by which you shall divide the land as an inheritance among the 12 tribes of Israel. Joseph shall have 2 portions. You shall inherit it equally with one another, for I raised my hand in an oath to give it to your fathers, and this land shall fall to you as your inheritance. This shall be the border of the land of the north, from the great sea by the road to Hamath, to Hethlon, as one goes to Zadal, Hamath, Beratha, Sabrim, which is between the border of Damascus and the border of Hamath, to Hazar Hadakon, which is on the border of Haran. Thus the boundary shall be from the sea to Hazar Enan, the border of Damascus, and as far northward is to the border of Hamath. This is the north side. On the east side you shall mark out the border from between Haran and Damascus, and between Gilead and the land of Israel, along the Jordan and along the eastern side of the sea. This is the east side. The south side toward the south shall be from Tamar to the waters of Meribah by Kadesh, along the brook to the great sea. This is the south side toward the south. The west side shall be from the great sea, from the southern boundary until one comes to a point opposite Hamath. This is the west side. Thus you shall divide this land among yourselves according to the tribes of Israel. It shall be that you will divide it by lot as an inheritance for yourselves and for the strangers who will dwell among you and who bear children among you. They shall be to you as a native born among the children of Israel. They shall have an inheritance with you among the tribes of Israel. And it shall be that in whatever tribe the stranger dwells, there you shall give him his inheritance, says the Lord God. This is just, God is so gracious and so good. And he gives, if we go back to Israel being saved from the Pharaoh and from Egypt, and he takes them to the promised land that is flowing with what? Milk and honey, with abundance. God always wants abundance for his children. So when people say that God is not good or great or loving or giving or generous, I'm shocked by it, because all he wants for us is goodness. It's the sin in our life. It's the sin that we hold on to. The sin destroys and separates us from abundance. And you really need to understand this. If you're not walking in abundance, it's something to do with you and not God, because God is very abundant. We read in Jeremiah 29:11, I know the plans I have for you for good and not for evil. Now he is speaking specifically to Jeremiah, we must remember. However, the promises of God are the promises of God, and he gives good gifts to his children. So remember that. If you're not walking in abundance, ask God what's waylaying or withholding your abundance. This concludes the chapter 47 of Ezekiel.